Welcome to the channel. This is Geauxgreddy and welcome to the 2021 FIA Nations Exhibition season, round number 10. Tonight, we are at the Goodwood Motor Circuit and we are in the 1965 Mini Cooper S. And I need to improve upon my points if I want to move up in the rankings. Can I do it? Stick around and find out. All right, here are the points, and I have run prior, so you'll see 187 and 10, but in slot 6, you see 211, and that is what we're trying to beat. We're trying to beat 211 points, and I have given it 3 prior tries and have failed absolutely miserably, as the qualifying was just horrendous. I've had absolutely the worst luck in qualified that I've had all season. But here, the final slot. It is the last slot, the final race of the 2021 season. In fact, the final FI race of 2021, and we are in the top split. It has thinned out considerably, but we are door number 5, and there are still some really fast guys in here. So, again, when you got a lobby like this, the most important thing is going to be qualifying. And like I said, all night, I've had terrible luck. Whether it be people crashing in front of me or people running off track and literally running into me, or it was just not a good night. So I come out here and I actually leave the pits first. I'm like, I do not want to be out front. I kind of wanted to be out front because everything that happened prior was like, nope, play it smart. It's your last race. Now, VQS Drifter just went out in front of me. He's got the fastest time in all of North America. But I tried following him once before, and that worked out horribly as everyone tried to get between me and VQS Drifter because they all kind of had the same idea. So I let him go. I said, you just go on there, VQS Drifter. Take your merry men with you. I'm going to hang back here and wait for someone else fast. I look at my rearview mirror, and I see Apple Pop coming up. Apple Pop, top 10 time in North America all week long, has been quick in the practice races. So I was like, you know what? Apple Pop's pretty quick. I'm going to follow Apple Pop. So slide on by Don Quixote. All he does is win. And get in behind Apple Pop. And behind me, I've got XL Alexander XL. It looks like he's okay to set a little gap between me. So here we are. We're looking good. I got a nice gap set to Apple Pop. I got a nice gap behind me with XL Alexander XL. I'm feeling good about how this qualifying is setting up, because before I was having a bunch of people come in and jump between me and the guy I was trying to set my gap to start this, because we've got slipstream on week here. So we've got a 2.5 second gap you can have and still have slipstream. Now, you really want to be in about a 1.5 second gap, but you know, the slip actually went back 2.5. Now, XL Alexander XL takes off for it. I'm not really sure why, but I was like, okay, whatever. Apple Pop is giving himself a gap, and then here comes the rest of his crew, the Knights Racing team. I'm like, okay, well, these guys are going to get in between me and Pop no matter what. So I'm just going to back off and let them get in. And so I set up a nice space between me and Slender Churro here, heading into the chicane. All I want to do is get a decent exit out of the chicane, stay in the slipstream of Slender Churro, but I don't want to be too close because I don't want to catch him either. I want to just decrease that gap as my lap goes on so I can increase that qualifying time. So here we go. I crossed the line, got a good slipstream. This is really about perfect, about how I want my gap to be. And what I need him to do is continue to catch Galetsky, and then have Galetsky continue to catch Mad Knight, and then him continue to catch Apple Pop, and then slowly pull me forward and have me get the best qualifying time as possible. So good looking corner 1 there. I kept the speed up in the high 85s, which was excellent. Here you want to hold it flat into this next right-hander. I was turning in here between the yellow board and the white boards here on the left. Nice and easy. Get on the curbing there. I want to brake here just after the driveway. Not a long full braking, but a little bit of braking. Then I want to keep it above 78, and I did so. Great corner 2. Looking good to set up this straight, this right-hander here. Drop it down in the third. Actually, a little slow into there. I would have liked to have been a little higher in the 60s there, and that causes me to get on the gas a little bit early and the car to lean too much, and you hear my diff spin up. Hits the rev limiter. That's going to cost me about 1 to 2 tenths on this lap, maybe more, because I wasn't quite as close now to Slender Churro as I wanted to be as I was closing out this lap. But still not bad. I'm still not complaining. I've got a good run here, heading into the final right-hander before the chicane, braking just at this board here, just wanting to kind of ease it through this corner, let it let it roll, get on the gas. I wanted to hold it there in the 70, 71 mile per hour range, a little slow, but that's okay. And then here I want to come out about 62 miles an hour. I did so. Car slowed down just a little bit on me there. Not really happy with that exit, but I'm pulling in on Slender Trail, about to cross the line here. It's looking like a good time, a 140.605. Not bad. I could have gone faster, but you know what? With the luck I've had tonight, I'm going to take it because that means I qualify in P3 to start the race behind Pop and in front of Drifter. Both very fast guys with, well, a nemesis in between. But we'll have to deal with that as the race goes on. So here, the final race of 2021, the Nations Cup, the last slot, the last race. It has been a wild season. It has had its ups and it has had its downs. I have been fast, but I've finished poorly. I've been slow, but finished well. It's been crazy. So the strategy for this race, by the way, there isn't one. Fuel is not an issue. Tires are not a problem. They are comfort softs. I'm pretty sure they will last for an eternity. So this is a 9-lap sprint race. You just got to hold on tight and get in that slip. Hope for the best. This race is a grid start, so as we sit here waiting for the lights to come on and the jets to fly over, it is, of course, important not to start early or you will be held back for, I think it's 1 second before you're allowed to go. So lights coming up here, and I'm waiting to release that parking brake, and that night Mopar jumps the light. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Yes, that is sarcasm. So we take off and we leave MKM behind us. Thankfully, don't have to deal with that the rest of the race. I was so happy, you have no idea, because that clown makes every race a pain in the ass if you're anywhere around him. So got to put him in the rearview mirror right early, which was lovely. So happy. So now all I got to do is concentrate on catching here to Apple Pop. Now, I was going to be 110% content with staying on Apple Pump's rear bumper for 8 laps and then start the race because, well, I'm in P2 right now. So there's really no point being in P1 except that you're one place forward and you're going to race the last 2 laps anyway. So car's a little heavy, tires a little cold. Go through that corner a little bit slow. Now, here I make a mistake. I should have stayed right behind Apple Pop. Instead, I move over to take the left-hander, and what that does is it allows Drifter to get a little bit of a slip and get his bumper underneath my bumper. Big mistake by me. Huge, huge, huge mistake. I wasn't expecting that. Drifter sends it down the inside, and now I'm getting freight trained. I'm on my back foot. I can't get over, and I shifted too early because I wasn't thinking. I shifted out of third before it got to 74 miles an hour, which made my run out of this corner even worse. Absolutely horrible start for me. I dropped back 5 spots. Maybe a little karma for me enjoying watching MKM fall start. I don't know, but I'll still take that. Anyway, so Gouletsky goes wide there. Now we're a little bit side by side in this chicane. I back out because, there's no point in us going side by side through there. And Gouletsky wasn't going that slow, and that actually causes me to lose 2 more spots. So Gouletsky's mistake there cost me 2 spots exiting the chicane. Honestly, about the worst start I could have hoped for. The only thing I could have done worse was false start like MKM, who is now behind me. That would have been the only way to possibly make this start of this race a little bit worse. But that's okay. I'm going to put my head down, and we are going to see if we can catch these folks up front. As you can see, the gap to me, 0.5 seconds. If you look between 7 and 8, you'll see that 0.5 second gap. I'm well within the slipstream. He is still within the slipstream of the lead group. This race is far from over, as there's only a 2.5 second gap to P1 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars in between. Yeah, we're almost in the slipstream to P1, to be quite honest with you, here with this week slipstream. So let's move on forward here to lap number 3, heading towards the final, not the final turn of the race, but the final turn of the lap right before the chicane. I guess this would be the penultimate turn, since the chicane would be the last turn. Doing okay. We looks like we've decreased the gap there a little bit to the lead group as we're heading into the chicane. Marshall smokes the wall. Rip Marshall, Geauxgreddy pass. We're up to P7. But it is still early in the race. It is only lap 4, and I've picked up a position from the many I've lost before. If you look over here on the left, a 1.2 second gap to the lead group up in front. I'm needing a good turn 1 to try and make that gap come down because I don't want them to run away from me at about this gap, or 1.5 seconds and greater. It's easy for a group to pull away from me. So I was really concentrating on trying to reduce that number, and I did a good job. Got that good turn 1 and caught back up to the lead pack here as we're about halfway through lap number 4. So now heading towards the penultimate turn on this lap, I'm behind PDX Sim Racer, who I killed in a previous race, and apologize. Looks like he goes a little wide there. He's struggling. I go down the inside. I have a really good run heading towards the chicane, and I do what I say I should never do. Send it through the chicane. Make the pass. Let's look at that again. PDX Sim Racer, you can see he's just carrying too much speed in that corner. It looked like he tried to go too narrow at the beginning. I've got a really good run on him as he's heading to the chicane. I slide down the inside. Good racing there by Sim Racer to slip in right behind me as I go through there. So somewhat dangerous pass heading into the chicane. Now I'm behind Geauxgreddy, and I've got about a 0.6 second gap. 1.5 seconds to the lead car, who now in the race anyway, is Apple Pop. So we're going to see if we can't make something happen here at this part of the race. And it looks like we've got some side-by-side action between Geauxgreddy and Holy X Pizza. Now he's out of the slip, but he has the inside line. So I'm trying to decide who I want to follow. I'm not really sure. So I'm going to take the cautious approach here and just ease off the throttle a bit and see what happens. Maybe someone will get murdered. They do not murder each other. They go through the corner very well. I slip down the inside of Holy XP, get into his rear bumper a little bit. He gets in the back of Geauxgreddy a little bit there. Not terrible, not a bad pump. In fact, it helped Geauxgreddy out a bit and allows me to slip there just under Holy X Pizza and get out in front of him here in lap 5. So back up to 5th place after that rough start, sliding back to 8th. Now let's move forward a little bit further into lap number 6, heading in to corner 1. I going too fast, have to exit too slow so I don't go off track here. And Holy X Pizza gets a good turn 1. So he's got to run on me. Now I'm thinking I've got the slipstream, so I should be able to hold him off here. And just as I'm starting to pick up speed on the third track turns, and he gets just the slip he needs to pull in beside my bumper, so I leave him room there. He slides down the inside. Good move there by Holy X Pizza as we go through corner 2, side by side, clean again, and into corner 3. He takes back his 5th place position from the Gredster. That was good, clean racing there by Holy X, though. So had to give him some props on that pass. And that also brings back PDX Sim Racer into the race, who had the issue there going into the chicane earlier. So fast forward here towards the penultimate turn again here on lap 6. Holy X Pizza defends the inside line a little bit, goes too narrow, carries a little too much speed. He also goes wide, and well, I disobey my rule twice, and I go for a pass into the chicane for a second time and make it work somehow. So as we look there, Holy X Pizza goes wide. I've just got too good of a run to pass up this move. Get on the brakes as late as possible and just slip in front of Holy X Pizza as we go through the chicane. So moving on towards lap 7, and I've got to concentrate on Geauxgreddy. I've got a 1 second gap to him. I need to pull that in with only a few laps to go if I'm going to try and get a top 4 or even a podium finish. On to the final lap of the 2021 FIA Nations season. The final FIA lap of 2021. And we've got Geauxgreddy side by side with Hoodka. And you got Geauxgreddy just trying to get some scraps here at the end, hoping for something to happen. Hoping that I can get a move made on someone here on this final lap. I'd struggled on my exit of the chicane and the first corner, so wasn't pulling on the group like I wish I had been. And they've got a nice gap to P1 and P2, so they're probably pulling pretty fast in the slipstream right now. So I'm really having a hard time catching up to them. I need a good corner 3 here, and I get a fairly good exit there in the high 70s, which is what I wanted. Gonna have to get on the brakes here just beyond this shadow. I want to carry the mid-60 through this corner. I do so, get back on the gas. Just a hair late, but not bad. Not bad. It's putting me within a second here on the final straight. Again, anything can happen, as you've seen before on previous laps, but I need to be within the distance to be able to take advantage of any mistakes that they may make here on the penultimate turn or in the chicane. And I'm now within that second gap and gaining as they go in, fighting into the penultimate turn. I gain even more. They are almost side by side heading towards the chicane. Hookah behind Golecki going into the final chicane. Hookah hits the wall. Another Greddy pass. He's off in the grass. I go by him, underneath him, into P4. Finish the race with a 4th place. So great job coming back there from falling all the way to 8th in that first terrible lap. I pick up 222 points. I am able to beat that 211. It's a good season for Nations. I finished 1st in Louisiana, 20th in the U.S., and 28th in North America. I will take it. Hope you enjoyed all the races this season. I want to thank you for watching, subscribing, hitting those likes, comments, everything. You're making the channel grow, and I sincerely appreciate it. From myself, Geauxgreddy, thanks for watching, and y'all have a great evening and a Happy New Year. I hope you have a wonderful 2022. DJ Clean, take us out of here.